All right, so let's jump into 3-2, but we're going to remind ourselves of some of the angle relationships from 3-1. So what I want you to do is take a look at each of these angles and see if you can identify them as corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, or consecutive interior. Now what's hard is, again, we don't have parallel lines, and we need to keep in mind which transversal is creating which set of parallel or which set of angle relationships. So let's first jump into 1 and 6. So if I have angle, we'll go ahead and get our yellow marker to just so we don't get too muddied up. Angle 6 and angle 1. Now you can see here, this is the transversal that creates these two angle systems. This one's not a part of the conversation at all. So when I look at angle 1 and angle 6, those are going to be corresponding angles. Because they are in the same position. They're on the same side of the transversal, and they're tucked here underneath my lines. All right, let's look at 7 and 12. 7 is here and 12 is here. Now guess what? We're going to have this as our transversal, and this part of the diagram doesn't matter. So when I look at 7 and 12, I'm looking at consecutive interior angles. All right, now let's look at 2 and 10. Here's 2 and here's 10. So here is going to be my transversal, and this part of the diagram does not matter at all. So when I look at angles 2 and 10, they're on the same side of the transversal, and they're both sitting on top of their lines. So even though they don't look at, guess what? Those are corresponding angles. All right, let's check out 9 and 4. Here's 4, here's 9. So again, we're on this transversal, and this part of the diagram doesn't matter at all. So when we look at 4 and 9, they are tucked inside, so they're interior, and they're consecutive. They're right next to each other. So those are, again, going to be consecutive interior angles. All right. 6 and 10. Here's 6. Here's 10. Can you see the transversal? Can you guess which part of the diagram doesn't matter? Here's my transversal. This part of the diagram doesn't matter. So 6 and 10 are on alternate sides of the transversal, and they're outside of these two lines. So we're going to call them our alternating or alternate exterior angles. All right, let's check out 5 and 11. Oh, we haven't seen them yet. They don't have any dots. 5 and 11 are, again, here's my transversal, same two intersection angle systems. We're not worried about this one at all. And 5 and 11 are going to be the other alternate exterior angles for that part. All right, let's look at 4 and 10. Okay, so now we're up to 4 and 10. Here's 4, here's 10. This part of the diagram doesn't matter. And this line here is going to serve as my transversal. So here's 4 and 10, and guess what they are? They are going to be alternating interior angles because they are tucked inside of these two intersecting lines. All right. Oh, we have 3 and 10, so I can leave my transversal where it is, and here again I'm back to my consecutive interior angles. 7 and 4. Let's see, where are they? Oh, here's 7 and here's 4. Guess what? This part of the diagram doesn't matter. here's my transversal, because that's the one that tells the story between these two angle families. 7 and 4 are going to be, do you have it? Corresponding angles. All right, last one, 9 and 7. Can you say which part of the diagram doesn't matter? This family's out of that conversation. And who is connecting them? This transversal here. So 9 and 7 are going to be our alternating interior angles. All right, so now let's check out the second part of our warm-up. Okay, now we're getting into the fun part. Given lines A and B are parallel. All right, now I can go ahead and draw those relationships. A and B are parallel. Good news. Circle the correct relationship. And these two things are talking about, are they equal? Or what does this mean if they are equal to 180 degrees? I'm asking you, are they supplementary? So all of our angles that are supplementary in one angle system, they're all linear pairs. Notice I can have supplementary angles, though, that are not linear pairs. So we're going to keep calling them supplementary because 3 and 5 are definitely not a linear pair. All right, let's see which ones we're talking about. Angles 1 and 5. 1 and 5, those are corresponding angles. And because the lines are parallel, Euclid has told us they are equal. Okay, and another example of corresponding angles, you have your choice. Do you want 3 and 7, 2 and 6, or 4 and 8? I don't know. Let's do 4 and 8. Any one of those choices were possible. All right, our next one, let's talk about 3 and 6. Here's angle 3, and here's angle 6. All right, what do we see? Those look like they're going to be alternating. Because guess what? They're on either side of the transversal. And if you're having a hard time knowing, your transversal, by the way, is going to be that line that connects the two systems. Think about the families. Who's connecting the two families? They are alternate, and guess what? They're inside of the parallel line system. So we'll call them alternate interior angles. And what's their story? Euclid tells us if the lines are parallel, guess what? They are equal. And another example of alternate interior angles, there's only one choice here, 4 and 5. Okay, let's check out these next ones. 1 and 8. Okay, so 1 we already have marked here, so we'll come down and we'll mark 8. And we can say, what's their story? They are alternating, and they are exterior angles. They are on opposite sides of the transversal, and they are outside of the parallel line system. Euclid tells us, guess what? Those are equal in measure, and there's only one other pair of alternating exterior angles, and that's going to be angle 2 and angle 7. All right, you know we only have one kind left, and that is going to be angle 3 and angle 5. They are our consecutive. Sometimes we call them same side. So that helps you know they're on the same side of the transversal, and they are interior angles. And guess what? They're our first and only conversation in so far about angles that are supplementary. And I can see how they're marked. They are one pink and one blue, meaning that they do not have the same angle measure. And then another example of consecutive interior, there's only one answer here. Angle 6 and angle 4. How you feeling? Ready to do some proofs?